Hi, everyone. We are here today. Something I've been asked about by a few different members and other messages from just general people out there in our audience. They want to know about the MadVR Envy. And guess what? We have a guy who loves it, who has it, and is a big fan of it. Wes Smith. You know him on the forum. I'm sure you've seen him on AVS Forum before. Well, we have him here live and in our show, and we're excited. Al and I are excited. Without further ado, here's Wes Smith.
How you doing,
Thank you.
Wes?
Good, good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
Anytime. So, quick question for you, just to jump right in.
Sure.
What's your favorite feature of the Mad VR? Which one do you have?
I have the MK2 Extreme, the MV Pro. So
Beautiful.
the top of the line one, it was interesting when I had the original one as soon as the upgrade came out. I think I was the second person to do the upgrade technically from what I was heard from Audio Vice. So favorite feature, that's tough. It's a little bit of an interesting thing when you get involved because I initially it was the tone mapping obviously that brought me in, right?
Right.
But then as you add it, especially with projectors, as you add it to your setup, you realize it's a tool that has so many other functions. I mean, it's really hard to pick one. I guess the tone mapping is the ideal thing, right? That's the lore that gets you in. But there's
Oh
so
yeah.
many other functions that I don't think I could live without it.
Wes, what projector are you pairing with the Envy?
Right now, I'm running a JVC NZ900.
Nice.
That's cool. I don't know if anyone can see behind me. That's actually an MK2 that I had here with my fish tank. You can see I took a picture of it in front of that just for fun. So I
Hmm.
actually did a full review on MK2 as well. Very nice. I mean, I like a lot of what Wes was saying. My big thing I was looking for was the zoom feature. We have a big 16 by 9 screen, and we were thinking, you know what, the black bars are just this big all the time. So why not something that we could do? And obviously the MV was perfect because it was able to jog it down and then it didn't distort the image hardly at all, and it just looked perfect in there, and it made it bigger, like a big TV in your face, and that's what we were aiming at. Besides the HDR tone mapping, which I know is like first on everyone's list, not ours, of course, but
Well, it's interesting you say that. That function is one of the things that has allowed me to move forward. When I upgraded to the NZ900, I wanted to get a bigger screen. And my room is limited in certain ways. I couldn't go taller, and I had 16 by 9 screen, but I wasn't satisfied with the scope screen image. So I kind of did something non-traditional. I got a two to one screen so that I could have a little bit of the best of both. And using the nonlinear stretch for everything, I now essentially have 135-inch for everything. And the bars are so much smaller. That feature is unreplaceable to me.
what about the core? And have you seen it or heard anything about it? I mean, what it's obviously it's not super cost effective, but I mean it's lesser than what the other ones are.
I think I've talked to some people that have it. I mean, it's a great product at a great price, and I think a certain avenue, if you go with a certain projector and you pair that, you can make a pretty tough combo buying something even like I mean, an LS 12,000 or something and put a core on there. It's a pretty great image. You start getting into like diminishing returns. Obviously, the higher model has more features, but and no, I mean, I love the MV.
It's so crazy on the forum. We get people who just love their Lumigen, and then we get people who just love their Envies, and it's a great. We could make like a football team and have one side versus the other side, and that'd be a lot of fun. And behind me on this one is the one that started all the MK1, which was my
Yeah,
original one I have with my fish tank behind her in the background. But yeah, I was gonna say the new remote obviously is 10 times better with the MK2, the lighted one. So much nicer.
unbelievable, huge upgrade. The other one, yeah, was kind of a piece of plastic. The new one is great.
So what do you use for your source for movies?
Um, I'm still well, I have an Apple TV, but I'm still using discs. So I have a UB9000 Panasonic and an Oppo 203 that I use both of those. Keep telling myself I'm, going to get a kaleidoscope, but there's always another thing and another thing and another. So it's on the list, but
It's
then,
just the
oh,
Band-Aid. You gotta rip it. Gotta rip it right off.
I know it's but new projector. Oh, maybe I need some more subwoofers. So maybe it's just, but it's coming. But and I still love the Blu-ray. My wife doesn't love the space that it's taking up in our house with Blu-rays, so that might be the
I
overall.
was just gonna go there. My wife, we had over 2,000 movies on Blu-ray. A ton of those, those little shelf cabinet wooden ones, the grain ones that you buy, and you put them all on, and they're all stacked neatly across it. We had them
Yep.
alphabetized. We had them a horror section, comedy section, family section. Long story short, we found a place online that we just like a junk.com. They paid us
Hmm.
per movie, and we made a 300-400 bucks just by turning them all into them. And this was just like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And then obviously we went with Kaleidoscape. I kept my 3D collection because we love our 3D movies. But
Yeah.
that, I mean, I got just a 203 in my rack, and then boom, Kaleidoscape for everything else, and then obviously there's, you know, you can stream with the Roku or Apple for other movies that Kaleidoscape doesn't have. So 10 times more space. She was able to take over that space and put whatever she wanted in those areas. So you know, win-win for everyone.
Yeah, that's the angle I'm trying to use to sell it to my wife. It's space. Like, oh, it's about convenience, right? That's what it's about. So
Well, I mean, you can get in for the E, the new, you know, the new mount. We just did a nice show on the Kaleidoscape. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
yeah, I did.
uh,
And I think that was a great move on their part to sort of go to that price point and open it up to everybody. I think um, it's, you know, for, you know, not that it's cheap, but, you know, for $4,000 to get in for something you use, I think it's an amazing product.
so yes, Kaleidoscape we're big fans of. We love to also help our audience get it as well for and at a great price too. So can't deny the movies, the image, the sound. The sound is the biggest shocker. Just wait till you do the sound. You'll be like, whoa, where am I at? This your room sounds completely different.
Yeah. And well, also, you guys get all the movies a little earlier. That's a big point for me too.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, the
Yeah.
family loves that. Like last night, everyone was over here to watch or a couple nights ago, How to Train Your Dragon movie. It looked terrific. We'd used the Ultra Nero 4, just a beautiful image all around, sharp, clear, nice colors,
Hmm.
great action, just fun stuff. Gerard Butler, you can't go wrong with that guy.
Someone I watched something that said he's the ultimate plain TV actor.
Oh yeah, we like him. I mean, he's just one of our guys. Him and Jason Statham for some reason. For some reason, Liam Neeson still hangs in there too in our house.
Right.
Whenever his movie comes on, I get people saying, "Hey, we got to come watch the new movie, the Liam Neeson." Now he's got his new Naked Gun movie coming out. I can't wait.
I saw that.
That's going to be a comedy one for people to come watch. You know what I mean? Leslie Nielsen. You know, that'll be fun
Yep.
stuff. Can't wait for that one. So now we know what kind of screen do you have then again? What are we looking at screen wise?
Seymour Screen Glacier White. It's 133-inch diagonal, but I said it's 2:0, so it's a little bit of a different ratio. So it's 118 inches width and 60 inches tall.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was four-way masking that I used to, you know, offset the images. So I love the screen. Um, it's a great company and they make great products at a good price, I think.
Is the screen material, is it woven or is it
No,
solid?
it's solid. It's the Glacier White. I'm not an
Nice.
acoustically transparent. I'd
Yeah.
love to have a room where I could build the baffle wall, but my, you know, my room is limited to having speakers. I kind of like seeing the speakers too, to be honest.
Yeah, I prefer a solid screen. Joe, what do you have?
Well, I'm still doing my rocking my Stewart ST, you know,
But
Studio ST.
it's not woven though, right?
No, it's the ST 100. It's the classic. I love it.
We're
You
all in
can't
the
go wrong
same
with that.
camp. Yep.
It's hard to go away from Stewart once you get a Stewart. Nothing against Seymour, obviously.
Sure.
So jumping back into it, sound wise, what are we using then? What are we going for? Sound processor.
Uh, my processor is a Storm Audio Mark II.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, that's probably my second favorite piece in the chain. For your tinkerer, it's wonderful. It gives you lots of flexibility and lots of things to play with. Um, you know, art is definitely an interesting feature that you can get lost spending time trying to learn that calibration. Not to make a bad joke, but there is kind of an art to using art because it's not transparent for everyone. You know, there's a lot of different elements to it. And it's interesting. Like the things that it does well, it's a matter of preference. In some ways, I like what it does. In some ways, sometimes I feel like it's doing the right thing, but it takes some of the energy out of the room, and I kind of like feeling that energy a little bit. That's part of what I like about home cinema. Is I sort of like the feeling the bass and the tactile stuff. So not that it's doing anything wrong. That's what it's designed to do. So I go back and forth.
like last night when we were doing the How to Train Your Dragon, or was it 2 nights ago? I keep saying that. Oh, everybody was sitting in there, and everyone had seen it at the theater. The other family that was there, and they all said immediately, the picture's way better here. And then one of them said, and the sound is definitely better here. And then, you know, you just get that better mix. And we're using a Marantz AV10 with the direct live, but it's a great experience all around you as you're feeling the, you know, the whooshing of the dragons flying, and you feel like you're on it. They're throwing stuff at each other. They're hooting and they're hollering. It's behind you here. It's over there. It's up here.
Yeah.
It's a great experience. Not that the movie theaters, the cinemas that you go to aren't horrible by any means, but it's just more intimate at home. It's like you're looking through a window.
You know, I think we're kind of in a great period for home cinema. Like, you know, as a fan, you know, I was a kid, grew up going to the movies all the time, obsessed with movies my whole life. But I mean, there's no denying that when you can build a system in your house that's audio and video calibrated for these four seats, it's not even close to going to the theater and coming here. Like it's got to be something really special to get me out of my house to go see it early because it's just better down here. I don't, it's just the way it is, you know.
I know, and that's one thing that gets me. Alan and I actually had this conversation before. I get butterflies in my stomach before the movie starts at the actual movie theater. I get excited. I remember being a little 4 or 5 year old going to the movies and always being excited. And the red seats, they had red seats back at this theater we used to go to. And of course, we always went on dollar day, so it was cheap as possible. And we'd sneak into cans of pop.
Yep.
You
I
know,
still have a image in my mind as a kid. I guess they used to just have going to the theater to see Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost, and they had like they used to have the red carpet when you would go up to get your tickets to go in, and that image is burned into my mind. It was such an event as a kid to go to the movies, you know, like and it was even a thing growing up where you would just go and you didn't even know what you're going to see. You're like, let's just go to the movies, let's see what's starting, you know, and you would just be there all the time. So to be able to go to do that, just come into the basement, spoiled. We're spoiled at this point.
we are definitely spoiled at this point. We try to have almost a TV on every corner of the house, it seems like. Of
Yeah,
course,
I got a lot of them too. I'm not gonna lie.
well, growing
Even
up,
the
we only had one major one for the most time, and you had to fight to get your time and watch what you wanted to see. So now it's like a blessing to have more TVs. My kids will never understand that world. They think, it's a TV, it's a TV. They have no idea what VCR is, DVD even, it's just crazy.
oh, that's funny. I had a Betamax, right? When we were kids, like you
Laser
had
disc.
Betamax, and now you've got a
Yeah.
Kaleidoscope. You're streaming 4K. You know, well, not streaming, downloading. It's just incredible the technology and how fast it's moving. I mean, and you were talking about the AV10. I had one of those on loan for a little while. That is an amazing processor, especially for the price. I think it's a super solid unit. I was very impressed with it.
Storm Audio contacted me. We're supposed to be reviewing their unit and going to do a show about it, but they still have not sent it to me. So maybe this will give them a little nudge to get
Yeah.
it there. It's been a couple months in the making.
One of the interesting things about the Storm that I like is sort of like the tweakability, right? With all of the, the calibration design. So you can, run your calibration, whatever, but then you can also go in and tune it individually using your own filters. It just, if you're a tinkerer, it's tinkerer's delight.
That's going to be beautiful. And I like the fact that it comes with Direct Live already baked in, so you don't have to
Yeah.
download and go get a hold of all that. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah. And that's, again, that's like its own experience. You can get lost just using that because it's just such a different system. And it's different for every room and depending on what kind of speakers you have and your layout. It's fun. I mean, like if you like to calibrate, you'll be in heaven.
My kids, they know when it's a calibration day. Either they're leaving and I'm home alone for 4 or 5 hours, and I'm gonna have fun doing it, or they sometimes like to be involved and they like to push the microphone around and to go ahead and hit it, go ahead and hit it, hit the button and walk out and that kind of fun stuff. They know to be quiet. So it's calibration day here is a fun day.
My house, I got to wait till the dog is out of the house because he doesn't really like those sounds so
Oh
much.
yeah, that's one thing too. The dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
So jumping right back into where we were before with movies, what
So,
do you guys like to watch movie wise? What's your wife's favorites types?
oh, my wife likes musicals. She's pretty into musical stuff. She really likes animated content, um, more than me, I would say. Um, and just a good action movie. It's funny, like I think Top Gun Maverick is probably the movie we watched the most in the last couple of years.
That's
Every
a
time
good one.
someone comes over, like, let's put on Maverick.
My
It's
wife
just,
loves that one too. Nothing
yeah,
wrong with Tom Cruise action in there.
Do you ever
go
go
ahead.
back to the first one?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And the 4K disc of that is actually really good too. I remember as a kid, like going to see it originally, and like they had the recruiting officers outside at the theater, like promoting for the movie.
Wow.
Like that was a huge event. And it's great. The first one is still great. It holds up. It's just kind of the standard.
I heard they're making another one as well. We'll see. That'll be interesting.
I heard that too. I don't know where you go with it, but I have faith. And the Dune movies, I think those two are just unbelievable. I could watch those over and over again, visually and audio and the story. I think those are amazing.
So speaking of watching, have you checked out any of the MadVR Envy's Envy 101 lab that they have or whatever they call it there, their MadVR 101s? They have a ton of videos, isn't it like 50 some that teach you all
Yeah,
aspects?
it's a ton. Yeah, I've gone through and pick and choose. I had mine kind of before they had put all that stuff up, but every once in a while you want to try something new and you go back and look at it. It's a great resource, to have these little clips and to have the ability to kind of skip around and pick, oh, and how do I use nonlinear stretch or how do I get to the motion AI? And I think they're a really great company with great support and a great presence in the forums, you know, so people are usually pretty positive and you got questions going there and people want to help you out. I mean, uh, it's an amazing toy for a projector specifically. Like it just does so many things that makes it worthwhile, you know. Well, on their website, and then they have a YouTube channel as well, and they have just basically a series of tutorials that are broken down to like I think there's something between 5 and 10 minutes for each feature, and you can kind of go in and learn how to run the machine or do certain things specifically.
You mentioned a lot of support on the forum. I know Don's on there a lot. What does he go by? DCL.
Yeah, we trade emails a lot all the time. When I need a question, actually, I'm like, Don, what do I do?
He's a great guy, great encyclopedia of knowledge. I mean, I'm looking for somebody, or Wikipedia these days, not encyclopedia. Got to jump
Right,
into the
right.
2020s there, Joe 2020s. But yeah, no, he's great. If there's any kind of issues or anything, he gets a bomb of. If he doesn't know, then he'll find out for you quick too. And I don't even think he pays or works with the company either, does he?
Not that I know of. Yeah, he's a super nice guy, always responsive, and also just loves movies, right? So half the time you end up talking to him about films. So
I was gonna say, there you go. Yeah, that too. That's really cool. And then back into the MadVR Envy world. So we have the
mhm.
core, we have the pros. The pros still going. I don't even know if it's going. I mean, not that I expect you to know 100% on all their products, but
I think they still sell. You know, since I've gotten mine, I haven't gone back to look, but I would imagine that the gap is narrowing between like the core and the Mark II,
that's what I
sort
was
of.
gonna say. They've kind of absorbed each other. You know what I mean? You got your core technically is
Yeah,
the
and
pro, especially if you do that upgrades on them.
right, and I don't know if you can do the upgrades with the core as much in terms of hardware. I'm not sure how they're going to do that in the future. And
Okay.
there's some features that aren't on the core, right? Depending on what you want to do. Um, like I said, geometry correction and stuff like that. Do you want the motion AI or not? Do you want the extra horsepower? But the core is a great product, you know. I
I was
mean,
gonna say, yeah, if you have like a good projector like our Ultra Neo 4 does amazing
mhm.
motion, and I've compared it with the MadVR MVs. I don't really need the motion AI. I just want the little bit of geometry correction, and the core would be perfect for the applications like that.
That is one thing that I think is not talked about enough. You know, we all want to do our best to align our projectors perfectly to the screen. I mean, that's the ideal world. But you know, walls aren't always perfectly level. And some of those little macro adjustments that the Envy can do really help you line up the projector in a better way that without having to keystone or having things set off. But that gets overlooked a lot, I think.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just pretty wild the different things we can do these days with these processors. And obviously, we did a show on Lumagen as well, and had
Hmm.
fun with Mr. Jim Peterson. And then we've got this, and we've got already the Core out there, which is a newer model. So it'll be interesting to see where we go the next 2 to 3 years with these guys, with these video processors.
I mean, as consumers, you know, it's having companies sort of compete just brings out more products, and they're both great. Honestly, you could put someone in a room and put a processor on, and if you asked them to tell them which one it was, they wouldn't be able to tell you. Right? They're both great. It's just sort of you get into one camp or you get into the other, you're gonna be happy. I think.
I was gonna say that they're both vehicles; they both get you to the same place. I was gonna say I had both of them on the same movie and did a quick swap out, and the image was pretty much identical, but great image, so I can't complain. Both
Yeah,
look amazing.
absolutely. And I don't know as much about the Lumagen, but there's a lot of customization that you can do with the MV2. Like you want to bring out shadow detail, or you want to, pump up the tone mapping a little more. You do have a sense to tune it the way you like the picture. Some people like it more overblown. Some people like it more came down. It's just another tool that gives you more finite control than it's built into the projector itself.
I do like that how you can say punchy for your HDR, punchy or balanced, or you got your different options there. Taste for everyone.
Yeah. And one of the other things too that I like about it that originally attracted me to it is that the initial setup's not super difficult, right? You don't necessarily have to have an installer. It's great to have someone to help you walk you through it, but it's not, you don't have to be a computer programmer to be able to set it up and run it.
Say,
You
yeah.
can just be a normal person and you'll be just fine. And over time, you'll get into the nuance and learn it more. But it's not overly complicated where it needs to be intimidating.
I love the instructions on the screen as you're doing it. That makes life.
Absolutely.
You can just click, read what it says, pick what you want, click, do the same thing over and over again. Super
And
easy.
before I had the NZ, I had a NZ8 when I first got it, and before I had the the MadVR, I loved it. I mean, the NZ8's a great projector. JVC's tone mapping is excellent. Um, if you never saw a video processor, you can be totally happy. Well, I got to the Envy at one point, and then I had to take it out of the chain for some reason, and then you start to realize that you miss it, right? The movie that I was used to, I was like, oh wait, this
Yeah.
looks different. I need to get that back. So
Oh yeah.
don't go look at one unless you want to buy one. I'll just say that.
Spoiler alert. Are there any rumors or any discussion on the forum? I heard the next big feature they're working on, they're going to upconvert 420 to 422. And if you upconvert it, I'm not sure that we're going to see a difference, but if they're spending the time on it, I'm expecting that we'll see some kind of benefit.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, it must be some form of conversion, and at least from the disk layer up, that's all based 420, right? That is what the
Yes.
source material is. So again, like you're saying, will our eyes be able to see it? I don't know, but if they're doing it, there's probably a reason.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's exciting what they're going to come up with next that we need. You know what I mean? What's the next cool feature
Yeah.
that they can come up with?
And that's sort of the other thing that I like about it, just that it's a company that they're tinkering, always looking to do something new and exciting with it. With a platform that has a lot of horsepower and creative people, just I don't know, there's stuff that you and I aren't thinking of they're probably going to be doing in the next couple of years. We don't even know what's next.
So what do you have friends over to watch movies too? What do they think? They love your setup as well?
Yeah, that's a funny topic around here. So like there's half of my friends are like, you're out of your mind. You spent all this money on your basement. Da, da, da. Yeah, those same people are coming over to my house all the time to watch movies. So they want to make fun of me, but they like to come over here and hang out.
That's my favorite too. I hear a lot of the same thing. What did you do? I mean, half my basement is dedicated to, home theater, and the other
Yep.
parts are office area / animals or fish.
Well, when my wife and I were shopping for this house, one of my main stipulations is I wanted a big basement where I could put a big theater, and I'd come from another place where I had sort of a makeshift theater, but when you start buying your house based on your hobbies, that indicates you might have a little bit of a problem.
There you go. I love that. Yes. I didn't mean by like fish tanks. Obviously, you saw my backgrounds, but
Yes.
aquarium. There you
Right.
go.
Yeah. That's more than a fish tank, right? When you can
There you
swim in it, it's more than a fish
Wow,
tank.
it's 360 gallons, one of them. But anyway, but
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
yeah, that's pretty big. But
Reinforce
nice
the
bell
floor for
shape.
that, right?
We don't
Yeah.
have any basements here, and I miss it. I'm from the
Yeah.
north. Boy, I'll tell you, I'd give anything to have a basement.
We need them though in case we have tornadoes too and other crazy things. I hate to say it, not laughing, but it's kind of true. It's a nice storm. It works as a home theater and as a tornado shelter.
Shelter.
Well, yeah, I'm in Chicago, and it seems as time goes on, the tornadoes are moving closer and closer to us. We didn't used to get them a couple years ago, and now they're starting to touch down near us. So yeah, last couple times we're in the basement.
Yeah, I'm outside Chicago over the border in Indiana. I know exactly what you're saying. It's crazy. And there's one right off the Lake Michigan by the steel mill. You can see it on the lake. It was pretty crazy. There's a picture of it and everything. It's pretty wild.
Now there was one last year, the year before, like touchdown right outside of O'Hare, and you can watch it on top, which is 20 miles from my house, and it's like, is this possible? The world is changing.
Yeah, so maybe it's climate control or something. Who knows? But yeah,
Maybe.
we're getting some crazy stuff going on, like Independence Day starting when you get to the clouds coming over us.
Right. It's not just us; it's everywhere too.
Or the Day After Tomorrow movie, whatever that one is called. I can't remember, but yeah. It's
That's
awesome.
the Jake Gyllenhaal one, right?
Yes, good job, Jake Gyllenhaal. Good
It's
memory.
a good movie, actually. That 4K came out last year. I think that's a pretty good transfer.
Oh yeah, real good.
Last year on AVS Forum, when did you join? And what is your username?
My username is just Westar Smith. Pretty boring. Went by my name. When did I join? I probably got on about 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
A little more active, probably the last 4 or 5 years. As you get more stuff. Actually, as I got more questions, wanted to learn more stuff, and I just like to read about stuff. So it's a great community, great marketplace to buy and sell used stuff. If you have a question about home theater, somewhere in there's the answer.
Sure.
Right.
And there's some other geeky people that like to talk about the same stuff as you. That's the great thing about AVS Forum. That's also the great thing about YouTube, is that you can essentially find the stuff that all the people that you're interested in, they're all there too.
You don't
Speaking
have to
of
leave
that,
the house to share the hobby.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
well, speaking of that, we have the actual official creator here on our show, Mr. Alan
Mm.
Gouger. Alan,
Yeah.
what was your whole thought process of starting this way back in, when was it? 99? Somewhere in there? 98?
Ballpark. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your whole thing? What was your goal of making this forum? I'm just curious.
I never thought it would grow into what it did. It was like a snowball at the top of the hill rolling down and getting bigger and bigger.
That's a good,
And
yeah, because I jumped in, I think around 2002. I saw it and I was like, huh, this is interesting. And I've never joined a forum in my life before that point.
I think
And
it's the first forum that I've ever joined as well, to be honest. You know, you'll peek into other ones, but this, yeah, it's interesting. So what was the impetus to start it? Like, what made you sit down and say, you know what, I should start something like this?
you know, back then the internet was the Wild West. There wasn't any laws or rules. I hired Dave Bott,
Mm-hmm.
and the software was very simple back then. And I think what took off was I was a real geek, and I remember I built a curved screen with a wood frame, and we hosted a chat session. All the geeks just came out of the woodwork, hundreds of people. And next thing, everybody was talking technical, a lot of DIY. And we reached out to a few manufacturers and we had a few chat sessions. The whole thing just took off.
It's sort of funny in these times today. It's sort of like AI, like you started it, but now it's out of your control, right?
I
just
have
know that-
some from over the years, some good behind the scenes stories, but I could never tell them publicly.
Oh man,
Off
darn
air,
it.
off air.
Come on. We need to do nothing personal show on just those stories. That would be a great one.
I'll
Oh,
watch.
it'd be a good podcast.
Talk about, and the sad thing is also we've lost a lot of members over the years too. Long time guys
Yeah.
who've been there that I've talked to over the years. It's crazy. Sometimes I'll get someone's wife get a hold of me and say, "Hey, so and so and has passed, and he really thought a lot about you. I know you were just a guy on the forum, but it always gets me too because it's someone that's always there that would ask me questions, or I might even ask them a question, or just whatever, just have conversations with at times, and then you find out they pass, and it's just kind of sad, but. Anyway, that's just crazy. Not to bring the show down,
No,
but hey, it's
no,
just
it highlights a good part too. Like even I think during COVID and lockdown, it was an interesting experience, like to find different ways to have community, right? I mean, that's one of the most important things, and especially in this digital age where we're all working from home or doing stuff from home, to be able to bring community to home, like that was a special thing. It was, that, that that helps having stuff like that at your fingertips.
Yeah, I would think during lockdown, home theater forums, YouTube.
And I think sales for home theater stuff went off the roof.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
I had someone contact me just the other day. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He purchased an Onkyo NC500. For those who
Mhm.
don't know, that's from like the early 2000s, and he's looking for a firmware or a software update for this thing. I know, but I get questions like that all the time. Don't think it's weird or laugh about it, but it's true. And I kept a lot of those firmware updates for those. But this is another AVS Forum member saying, "Hey Joe, do you happen to have an update for this product from 24 years ago?" And it's funny, I know, but I don't know what kind of
Nah,
laptop's supposed to hold all that stuff from many years ago. But I used to
well,
have them.
you know what, if it still works and it still does what he wants, that's great, right? You don't need to chase the rabbit if you're happy with what you got.
No, but I believe he acquired it from someone who passed away. That's the whole point, and he wants to know if it's up to date and can update it. But that's why I'm bringing
Mm.
this back, this whole AVS Forum conversation, because that's what brought me in was Onkyo many years ago in the early 2000s, and I still have that group of people that still think, "Hey, Joe's got to have it. Joe Rod's got to have this update. Get hold of him." Read from so many years ago, archived, and then here you go. It's fun. Same thing with Macintosh as well, though. Firmware updates are the gifts that keep on giving.
Most of the time, every once in a while they screw some things up, right? You gotta roll them
Oh
back,
yeah, but you
but-
don't want to go there. I know someone who, used to break a projector every once in a while when they would do an update. Scary
Oh,
times.
yeah, there was, yeah, we won't talk about that, but yeah.
That's not a good gift. That's cold.
No.
Yes.
That's the other interesting thing too, that talking about the forums and YouTube, I was actually watching something before this, just this current generation of projectors. It's really interesting to see the debate, with the new Epsons and all the output and the JVCs. Like you almost can't buy a bad projector today. Like
Right.
honestly, they're so good.
Yes.
And depending on what what your priority is, like there's just so many options. And like I said, it's a really good time to be in the hobby.
We get a lot of people who love Epson, people who love JVC, people who love Sony. You get those three out there, they're the main projector lines, and people just are big fans of them. We are seeing something amazing with the Sim 2 that we've got. Not to give it another plug, but it is a terrific projector, and it'll have its own following just built on its own reputation as it's starting to hit the market. But it's just amazing how you get people behind these certain models, and they might as well wear T-shirts and hats and say, "Hey, that's my brand."
Hey, it's
Yeah,
funny that people get like it's almost like a sports team. You get on one team, and I started with an Epson back then. I think my first projector was a 5030 UV, if that's right. Then now three JVCs in, it's hard to change, but they all have their strengths.
DLP starting to make a comeback, which is nice.
Yeah, I
Yes,
haven't gotten to see any of those, but yeah, more and more of those seem to be hitting the market and doing much better.
yeah. Now they figure out a way to seriously cut down on the rainbows or even eliminate them with the one I'm seeing, the latest projector. I mean, it's a whole new world because DLP was like the one out of the gate that, hey, once it came out of the gate, I mean, it was just terrific back then, at least for me out of the gate, because my first projector was DLP, as we've seen on the show. But I'm just saying,
Hmm.
I've been away from them for what, 10, 12 years, and all of a sudden now here they are, and they're like better than ever, and they're film like and digital, perfect combination, sharpness, and there you go.
Yeah. It's interesting the different things about projectors. One of the big when I upgraded from the NZ8 to the NZ900, they're both great projectors, right? But the one thing about the NZ900 that stood out immediately was that larger lens and the sharpness that it provided in comparison was amazing. Like that, the optics on that compared to the NZ8 that was really the biggest difference, I would say.
We're getting closer to CEDIA. Has anybody heard any rumors?
I hate to say it, but I mean, if there's a year to ever skip, obviously we're probably close without many
Yeah.
major projectors coming out.
It
Yeah.
seems like the launch this cycle is a little bit different than the past, where they've been kind of staggering and rolling them out rather than everybody coming out at the same time, even with the televisions too, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's something to go look at. I love the folding and the unfolding TV that we saw last year. That was amazing. It
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
came out of the floor, then opened, and you couldn't see a single line on that TV. You'd have to walk right up on it before you could make
Wow.
it. It was so good.
Hmm.
I wonder how many they sold. It was like $1 million. They probably sold two.
Either way, someone had a good day.
Yeah, no kidding.
There you go.
I could only afford the manual version. I'd have to pay somebody to stand behind it, manually open it up and fold it again.
Yeah, there you go. To guys like me standing there opening a TV for you. Here you go.
That's funny.
Vanna White or Price is Right. Is there anything on the horizon that you're looking forward to or want to get? I mean, what's in your, in your future plans for your home theater?
Kaleidoscape is definitely the next thing on the list. Like I said, it's been on my list, and then that keeps getting bumped. I wanted to add a couple of subwoofers, and I did that. And then I wanted to change projectors, but I'm at a place now that's the next natural upgrade. I don't like to ever say that I'm done because that's just definitely not true, right? I say that every time, and then well, maybe I could add another thing. I would say Kaleidoscape is the next thing, and I spend more time working on the room itself, with sound treatments. And I think that's something that gets overlooked by some people, like myself included for the first couple of years. But treating the room can enhance the projector and the sound so much. But in terms of products, Kaleidoscape would be the thing that as soon as I get the okay, it'll be in my house.
And honestly, that is the best upgrade. I'm not just trying to say it's not like it sounds.
No,
It truly.
it's the community will tell you when the product is good. And I don't know, I haven't heard from one person that bought a Kaleidoscape that said, "Oh, I wish I hadn't got this thing." Not one.
Right.
So, and they're expensive, so that tells you something, right?
Do you know which model you're thinking of getting?
Um,
I just
I get
sold my Strato to
the
get
Strato
one of the
C.
to get one of the newer ones that'll have the Dolby Vision.
Is
So
it the
Stratus.
M, the one that holds like the 10 movies that I
Oh,
get
the
them
V is the
confused.
one that holds 10 or
The
11
V.
movies. Yeah,
The V, I think, is the one that's probably I'll probably get the Strato V coming up soon.
and it's a good one to grab. And I can't say enough good things about it. And again, you don't have to just hold 10 movies. I mean, you can have your whole iPad, whatever you want, computer close by, laptop. You can shoot your movies in and out of it as you want. And then just, if you have your guest pick a movie from your tablet, because you can have your whole thing there, and then you just download it onto the V if you want it.
I was gonna say, and with with the fast internet connections now you have, I mean, a few minutes to download a movie. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
what's the big deal?
5 to 10 minutes, it's on there. By the time you're done, whatever, making popcorn, it's ready to go, and you just hit play. It's really, really simple these days.
Yeah, it's an amazing product. And like I said, everyone who has them likes them, and that speaks volumes. This is a pretty picky community. So
That's for sure. They'll find one little negative and make it a boom, like the popcorn behind me.
Why don't you give us a rundown of your room? Dimensions, how many seats you have, the total width of your screen?
my room is about 16 feet 9 inches wide, 23 feet deep with 9 foot ceilings. Got one row of seating right now, 4 seats. I'm currently running 9.6.6 setup.
9-foot ceilings in the
Whoa,
basement.
that's
That's
nice.
rare. That's really nice.
Super nice.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the benefits of newer construction. You get to have higher ceilings.
Nice. That's a good sized room.
It's a good size room. No room is perfect. The back of the room is open to the stairwells. You can probably see behind me, but you make do with what you have, and it's hard to get
Yeah.
a perfect room. But the size is great. It gives it a good sense of dimension and space, and it lets the speakers breathe, so that like you can actually have this many channels without it being overpowering. And like I said, when you calibrate to the one position, it's really ideal.
They say the kitchen is a very important room in a house. And I think most people spend the majority of the time in the kitchen. What about your theater room?
It's interesting. We actually use the theater room a fair amount. My wife is very busy. She's a corporate attorney and
Wow.
works a lot. And kind of one of the things that we do 3 to 4 nights a week at least is come down here and watch a show or something at least and spend time in the theater. Like
De-stress.
yeah, it's our place. It's and even if it's just an hour, we get to do it together. It's a hobby we like together. But yeah, we use it a few times a week. As much as I like to tinker with it, like I want to use it. Like I said, I grew up as a kid going to the movies all the time. I love movies. I love television. I have a great OLED upstairs, but you build something like this and just come down. Even if it's 45, even if it's a half an hour, we'll just come down here
Yeah.
and watch something, just to utilize it. And
It's nice when the family shares the hobby with you.
yeah, and even my dog likes it. He likes to get up on one of the seats and watch movies with us.
So on our show, we like to ask this as well. Thanks,
Hmm.
reminder. We did a big snack show. This is one of our most watched shows for some reason. I guess people like their snacks.
People
What do you
like to,
guys? Yeah, there you go. What do you guys like to watch your movies with? What's your go-to snacks?
we're pretty obsessed with popcorn, with movie popcorn, right?
Boom.
So we have a machine over in the corner, and tinkering over the years of kind of perfecting the recipe the way you like it. I think flavor cal might be the secret ingredient for everything, but popcorn is definitely the number one thing for us.
Nice. Yeah, some people like to put M&Ms in their popcorn here, like the peanut butter ones. It gets really crazy with our popcorn guests. We had some fanatics last night.
I have friends that come over when we're just hanging out, and they'll ask me just to pop popcorn, not even watch the movie. Like, hey, can you make some of that popcorn? I'm like, "Yeah, all right,
That's
all
a
right."
great compliment. That's one of my favorite compliments to hear. Yes.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia, but like to me, like popcorn, it reminds me as a kid, you go, that's the thing you do. Like they go hand in hand for me.
Your
I'm no
shirt
no
is
trick.
perfect, one towel at a time. I mean, people are gonna just tune in and say,
Oh yeah, I should do a free plug. This is the dog rescue my wife and I are very involved in, one tail at a time here in
oh, that's
Chicago. Yeah, so one tail at a time is a dog rescue here in Chicago that my wife and I are big supporters of. They do amazing work. They have a chapter out in Oregon, and they started one down in Texas. Real grassroots thing here. We've been part of it for maybe the last 10 years, and it's just grown exponentially. So anyone in the Chicago area looking to adopt a dog or rescue, I can't say enough about it. One tail at a time, totally worth it.
I love it. That's awesome that they do that.
Yeah. You're a good
Yeah.
person for doing this.
We love it. Perfect.
Well, my wife and I are dog parents, and you can't do enough for them.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the love of a pup.
Unconditional love.
Yes.
Thank you for popping by on our Nothing Personal show today. And if you're watching, please make sure you like and subscribe. I don't say that enough on our shows. I'm told that by everybody that watches it. You don't say it enough. Like and subscribe. Well, we're saying it right now again to make sure we say it.
Yeah, Wes, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a good time.
Great job.
It's a wrap.